Oh, I like this.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this in my swivel. Sorry. Okay. Hello, friends and Disney people. Welcome to the Park Hopper Daily Weekly Newscast. We were a little bit behind last week, so Catherine wrote us a gorgeous script, and we didn't do it because we were getting ready to go to the parks for this totally spur of the moment, last minute, quick little trip down to the park. So we are going to be catching you up on some of the news from last week, and then we're also going to throw in a bonus. We're going to throw in a little trip review for our trip this weekend. We'll answer any questions that you have. Feel free to put them over in the chat area. Before we get started, I just literally I popped on Instagram to be like, hey, we're going live. Here's a link because I'm a dork. And the first thing that popped up on our feed was Carly Wiesel, who's amazing. You should follow her at Carly Wiesel, just her name. She's got great news, great tips, very funny. I love her energy. But anyway, she was posting about California lifting the statewide indoor mask mandate and talking about what it's going to mean for Disney and some of the other theme parks down there in Southern California. And Catherine's actually heading to California a minute. So I was just feverishly texting her oh my God, did you see this? Are you okay? How do you feel? Because feel however you want to feel about masks and vaccines and whatever. But when you make your trip plan, when you pay for your trip, when you book your dining, when you book your whatever, when you have a plan in mind for months while you're getting ready for something, and then to have it that is the shaky, unsure, anxiety thing for me about COVID and traveling.
Yeah.
It's the things that make, when we were in Disney World in July last year and mid-trip, we were there and mid-trip, they changed the mask mandate. Or maybe it was the day before we left. Whatever it was they dropped the news at midnight or 10 p.m. that it was going to change the very next day. And it was they didn't give anyone a chance to adjust their plans. If you are immunocompromised and you're not able to get vaccinated and you're worried about other unvaccinated people and the mask is not whatever, however you feel on either side, it is just unfortunate that it can change. And then it changes again. One day their masks aren't mandatory. So maybe there were some people who were waiting for that to plan their trip. They booked their trip. And then a couple weeks later, boom, masks are mandated again. Yeah, so I'm saying we're all getting screwed. No matter how you feel about it, we're all getting a little bit screwed. And it's so stressful. Okay, let's talk about some news. Welcome back to the Park Hopper Daily Weekly Newscast. Last Thursday, so this was Thursday before last Thursday, former Disney CEO Bob Iger put rumors out that he would return to the company as its CEO to rest calling the idea ridiculous. CNBC was the first to report in late December that it was possible Iger would return to the helm of the Walt Disney Company following his formal retirement. The current CEO is Bob Chapek, who has taken a fair amount of criticism by Disney fans for cost-cutting and just rude behavior throughout the theme parks in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. In an interview with Kara Swisher, Iger was quoted as saying, "I was CEO for a long time. You can't go home again. I'm gone." End quote. It's
wow.
That's harsh. You can't go home again. That's not what we need to hear right now. Okay, that's rough. It's fair to say that making moves like the acquisition of Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, as well as his commitment to the customer experience and to fostering creativity throughout the Walt Disney Company, that Iger will go down as one of the most influential leaders within the Walt Disney Company, along with Michael Eisner, Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy, and of course, Roy Disney and Walt himself. What do you think?
I'm sad that he's not coming back.
I know that was like a hopeful moment.
Yeah, especially with
Chapek.
Paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's been a little rough around the edges there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have him back because it was really great. But you got to wonder, like, how far it's gone in a different direction than what he had in order to get it back. Is it even possible to do that?
Yeah.
Especially now with things, it's so understaffed, and like it's a very different landscape now than when he was involved. So it's hard to compare the two guys, even though Chapek is not doing a great job.
It's easy to compare them. One was great, one is terrible.
Well, you also have to factor in. I'm just saying, you have to factor in the landscape of what it's like to hire people and
I know. Well, one thing
moving products, like everything is just so different than it was.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we were saying on our trip this past weekend, we were like, it seems like someone turned the nozzle up as far, like just open the floodgates to letting people in and making park pass reservations. But they forgot to tell the staff. It's like the same amount of staff for like when it was at 50, 60% capacity.
Yeah.
But now, and it's like, okay, I understand that it is difficult to hire people and people, whatever, like the staffing is an issue. But if your concern is about the Disney experience, then shouldn't you only invite the people who you can handle it?
Yeah, there should be a ratio of what you have as staff.
If you have X amount of staff, you can have X capacity.
Yes.
In order to ensure
it's math.
That on like a random Tuesday in February that you don't feel like you're there on freaking New Year's Eve. Because like that's what everyone's been saying. Everyone's like, when's the slow time? When's the slow time? And it's like, well, never again. Or I honestly think it's going to be 2024 before we start to see like slow weekends, which also makes sense because so many people have had to postpone, reschedule. I see it every single day. People are like, we were supposed to go May 2020, and they've just been rescheduling. They haven't gone. They just haven't gone.
Everything is so backed up now.
So I get it, but I miss Iger. But I guess you can't go home again. That's rough. Okay. Last Friday on January 28th, sorry, she wrote this for me last week. So on Friday, January 28th, the development of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind continued in the World Discovery section of Epcot with the installation of the 51-foot tall Nova Corps Star Blaster spaceship in the entrance plaza of the new attraction located where Ellen's Energy Adventure once was. R.I.P. The area remains a part of Walcott, which we lovingly call Epcot.
We saw the Star Blaster.
We did. We saw it from the monorail. It was great view from the monorail. Yeah. Definitely recommend taking the monorail from the Ticket and Transportation Center into Epcot. So you get really great views of all the construction. It's kind of cool to like peek over the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that ride. We had a Lyft driver who was like a little like not into the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, but like feeling like maybe it's more of a Universal style movie, which I totally understand. Like, because they have all like Jurassic Park and Spider-Man and Superman. I get that, but I'm excited about. I mean, I love Guardians of the Galaxy in the Marvel canon.
Yeah, I do too. I think it works.
So, I'm excited for the ride.
Yeah, I can't wait for the ride. That's that's what I'm most excited for is that. And it was so cool to see that Star Blaster there. Yeah. And you can see it from just walking through. You can't see the whole thing because the fence, the wall. But from the monorail, you get a clear shot. It's beautiful. And it's still construction all around it, but it's great.
Nice. COVID-19 cases may be declining in New York and in most states across the United States, but it is still impacting Disney parks, of course. Last Friday, Hong Kong Disneyland extended its COVID closure through mid-February, and Disneyland in California announced that it will require all unionized cast members to be vaccinated against the virus by April 11th, according to correspondence sent to cast members. The Disney Cruise Line has also updated its policies for guests that have recently recovered from COVID-19. Here is the new policy. Quote, in some cases, people who have recently recovered from COVID-19 may still test positive for the SARS-CoV-2, whatever, for the virus. If guests have tested positive within 11 to 90 days of their sail date, they may qualify to be considered as 90-day recovered with the appropriate documentation and subsequent approval. Guests considered 90-day recovered are not required to participate in COVID-19 testing during the pre-sail, embarkation, or disembarkation phases of their voyage, unquote. It's very interesting because I run a theater company and we had this issue. With our show in December, we required all cast members to get tested because we were all going to be in close proximity and it was going to be all of us instead of just one class at a time. And just for safety, and not everyone's vaccinated. We have 3, 4, 5-year-olds. But a couple of cast members had COVID and I didn't realize it at the time. But when you've had it, like you keep testing positive for a while. They're like, they are back in school. They're out of quarantine. But if I give them a test, it's going to come back positive. And I was like, oh crap. Like what?
Yeah. What
That's
do you do?
scary. Like
Yeah.
it's wild. This whole thing is the Wild West. And I think throughout the whole thing, I've done a pretty good job of just kind of leaning into trying to just believe in science and go with everything and understanding that part of science is stuff changes. And so it's not, oh, we were lied to. It's here's what we are going to do with this new information. But it is frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten a little bit more patient about it, like as we go on, especially with like the Delta variant and then Omicron. And it's like, you can be masked and distanced and still give it to each other and vaccinated and still give it to each other. And it's just like, well, fart. then let's just, there's only so many iterations of safety protocols that you can do. And until we just go into lockdown again, I just don't think that that's going to happen. And
it feels like it's progressing with the variants seem to be weaker each stage. Every time a variant comes out, it seems to be a little bit weaker than the last one.
Was Delta weaker? I didn't think that Delta was weaker. It was just
original?
We were starting to get vaccinated. So if you were vaccinated against it, it was weaker. But I don't know the science on if it was a weaker virus. I know it was more contagious, but it still attacked your lungs.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just going by what I've read and what I've heard is that as the variants progress, because people are vaccinated, the variants aren't as potent as the prior version. They might transfer more easily, but maybe it's because people are vaccinated. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just going by what I've heard and what I've read. It seems like we're progressing in a better direction. The people who are getting sick don't seem to be dying as in a higher percentage as they were in the beginning. Yeah, I don't know.
Unless you're not vaccinated.
Unless you're not vaccinated. So
anyway, I don't think we should talk anymore about COVID-19 because we don't know what we're talking about.
No.
Okay, back to Disney stuff. Extra evening hours reserved for people staying at deluxe hotel resorts at Walt Disney World in Florida will be expanding to include Hollywood Studios, according to the extra evening hour schedule that is currently available. That shows Hollywood Studios getting in on the extra evening hours scheduled for Wednesday, April 13th, although what will be available to enjoy during those hours has yet to be released. Fingers crossed for Rise of the Resistance, because isn't that why we're all going to Hollywood Studios anyway? I'm curious to know if anyone has been around for the extra evening hours. We tried them out one time in Epcot, and I feel like we did not utilize it the best. I can't remember. I feel like we did Frozen Ever After, and it was still kind of a line, and then by the time we got out, we were like tired, and then we didn't really like stick around. But it seems like a great perk because the park, I mean, like we said earlier, the parks are busy. They're busy. And it's nice that if you're spending the money for like the nicer hotel, that you're actually getting a nicer perk, because so many of the perks for all across the board have just gone away. Free magic bands, free magical express, fast passes, like all that drama. Like any hoozles. As we ready for the inaugural launch of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, more details were released last week, including that guests on the 2-day immersive journey will receive complimentary Lightning Lane access to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Oh.
Last year, guests were told this would not be the case, but Disney said this week the attractions are critical to the guest experience, and that was the impetus for the decision. I'm spending $5,000 for 2 nights for 2 people. You better freaking let me on the ride as often as I want to go. I want like a golden lightsaber that unlocks the secret portal to Princess Leia's like powder room. You better be massaging my Wookiee feet with Boba Fett's helmet. Like, that it is so much money. It is absurd. Yeah. They need to include a lightning lane. Like, what? You're going to spend $5,000 on this hotel and then spend $15 more to go on Smuggler's Run. Disney? Bob Chapek, are you there? Get your head out of your ass. Yes, it should be included. I can't even believe that was a discussion. Ew. How do you feel about it?
I think you've summed it up quite nicely.
Oh, did I have more to say on there? Okay, sorry. Joe was supposed to read some of this, by the way, but he didn't want to have his glasses on.
But I have them. I'm at the ready. What do you want me to read?
Yeah, read the next one. Look, it's a big one.
Where'd you leave off?
This whole page.
Wow. Okay. Celebrate Soulfully is returning to Walt Disney World and will debut at Disneyland this February in honor of Black History Month. Here's what we know, and in full disclosure, this is taken directly from a release issued by Disney on its Parks blog. Celebrate Gospel brings together award-winning gospel music stars Kiera Shared on February 19th, and then Jonathan McReynolds and Molly Music on February 26th for a powerful event at Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California. Gospel singers and community choirs are also part of the show on both Saturdays, beginning at 3 p.m. on the Fantasyland Theater stage. Have we ever seen anything there? I haven't. I've only been there once.
That's where they like do like dancing and stuff. I don't know that you've ever seen anything.
I don't think. Yeah, there was nothing going on when we were there.
We'll have to go back.
Okay, throughout February, Downtown Disney District will celebrate with nightly outdoor concerts covering genres such as R&B, reggae, funk, and jazz, plus Saturday afternoon gospel performances. Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa offers nightly jazz. Very cool. Live performances of Motown favorites, jazz, R&B, and pop hits return to Disney Springs at Walt Disney World Resort throughout February. We didn't get to go to Disney Springs this trip.
No,
it's such a quick trip.
We skipped Disney Springs. And Gideon's, I really, really wanted the February Gideon's treats, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what we did do in a couple minutes.
All right. Okay. The Tam Tam drummers of Harambe will bring rhythms of the Congo to Mombasa Marketplace in Africa at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park at Walt Disney World Resort. Also at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park is a celebration of Festival of the Lion King, a Broadway-style show filled with pageantry, puppetry, and classic songs from Disney's, wait for it, The Lion King.
That's not really new, though. That's been there for a while.
Yeah, that has been.
But it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. I wonder if they're going to do anything different or special, or if it's going to be the same.
I wonder if that's going to be answered in the next paragraph. No, it's not.
It's not. All right. Guests can discover celebratory eats inspired by Black stories and new dishes brought to life by Black chefs at select locations.
Did you just say chefs?
Chefs. I need to drink water. At select locations throughout Walt Disney World Resort and across Walt Disney World Resort, Cooking with Soul featured menu items will spotlight soul food dishes and the talented chefs who create them. Highlights of these Plus, Creole cuisine at Disneyland Resort include treats inspired by Disney and Pixar's Soul and Walt Disney
Great
Animation
movie.
Studios. Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
I think overall underrated. I don't think that it really got the hype that it deserves.
No, it should.
I loved it really made me think about my life.
Yeah.
Like so many Disney movies are kind of like they kind of make you reflect outward. Can you reflect outward? Is reflecting anyway? It made you think about like the world around you, right? They make you feel like for other people. I felt like Soul. I mean, even the title. I mean, it's it is you. It just really like
everything within.
Even the way, I mean, no spoilers, but like they really just let you experience everything completely individually. I think anyone who watched that movie could have as many people as there are. That's how many different experiences there are watching Soul.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to that paragraph because you stopped me in the middle of it.
Treats inspired by Disney and Pixar's Soul and Walt Disney Animation Studios, The Princess and the Frog at Emirates Patisserie and the Ganachery at Disney Springs.
There you go. Dishes that pay tribute to African recipes and historic Black chefs can be found throughout Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park and Walt Disney World.
Menu items at Refreshment Outpost in Epcot at Walt Disney World Resort draw inspiration from the flavors of Eastern Africa.
Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen at Downtown Disney District at Disneyland Resort celebrates Creole cuisine, including the popular Nola barbecue shrimp and grits.
Guests can be immersed in art and exhibits that celebrate the work of Black artists and visionaries at locations across Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort.
Since its inaugural debut last year, the Soul of Jazz, an American Adventure exhibit in the American Adventure at Epcot, has showcased the rich and dynamic evolution of jazz. The exhibit has traveled to museums across the country and expanded to include histories from Kansas City and Harlem.
After being unveiled at Disney Springs last year, murals inspired by Disney and Pixar's Soul, created by emerging Black artists B. Harris, Bianca Pastel, Arrington Porter, and Corey Van Loo, will make their debut at Downtown Disney District.
In anticipation of the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder series on Disney+, art displays are inspired by Penny Proud and her family, will appear at both Downtown Disney District and Disney Springs. Plus, guests can learn more about Bruce Smith, the show's creator and executive producer.
A live chalk art installation will come to life each week as chalk muralist Marcella Sweet reveals new murals at Downtown Disney District.
At Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, guests can meet talented African artisans at Mombasa Marketplace and even takes some of their unique craft works home.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I dig it. I really dig it. And I like that while a lot of that has been like February centric because of Black History Month, I do feel like I've seen more and more from Disney about having different, having more than just like white dudes, like being featured throughout the year, you know? And I hope, I don't know, but I really hope that that is because they are getting more representation on the on the production creative side, you know, because that's always like something that's discussed in like the dance world and the theater world that I'm a part of. It's not enough to just talk about it, like hire diversity, you know, don't just assume, don't let a panel of white guys like decide what should be, you know, part of these festivals. And I'm excited about how much they have. It's not like I feel like growing up going to Disney, there was like a cursory like MLK moment somewhere, you know, and now it's growing into, you know, featuring a lot more current artists and chefs and chefs. So that is wonderful. Quick trip recap, because it is 10:08 and I am starving because I've been working and dancing since 3 o'clock. Joe and I zipped down to Disney World for just 48 hours. Literally landed at 10 a.m. and
on Saturday
morning, and then landed at 10 a.m. this morning when we got home. So I could not be happier with how much we were able to do on a weekend. And when I say like weekend, I want you to know, like, it was busy. It was like, maybe not New Year's Eve busy, but it was definitely like holiday season, spring break.
It was really crowded.
Busy. Which we had seen a lot of stuff on Disney Food Blog and like other people who've been down there. We do Disney Right, Emily Carlson, like a lot of the people who we follow had been giving that consistent report, like it ain't dead, like there's no downtime, like you're gonna want to take advantage of the late night magic hours, the early entry, like all that stuff. So I didn't expect us to be able to do much, and my number one goal was to get to the Festival of the Arts, which we did both days. But we were also able to go to all 4 parks. We rode Smuggler's Run. We met Mickey Mouse. We snagged a breakfast reservation at Topolino's Terrace, a dinner reservation at Chefs de France.
Yeah.
We went to Oga's. Like, this was like a week's worth of stuff over the course of 2 days.
Yeah.
We're going to be diving deeper into all those things, especially like Wednesday on our Instagram is 100% going to be dedicated to Mickey Mouse and the emotional roller coaster that I experienced getting to meet him again.
You're a wreck.
Spoiler alert, it involves me crying a lot. But I want to talk more about that in depth later. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and join us in the conversation if you have gotten to meet, or if you haven't gotten to meet like the characters since the shutdown, because that, for a lot of people, like, that's more important than Rise of the Resistance or Flight of Passage. Like having those character interactions, especially when you're like little kids. I'm getting to meet Nikki's. But what was it? If you could like talk about one experience, what was your like highlight of the weekend?
That was the highlight.
Yeah.
Going in to meet Mickey. I'm not going to give away too many details, but we basically. I didn't want to go. It was getting late. I was pretty tired.
This was last night.
Last night. And it was cold. The weather wasn't great at all. The sun never came out. It was really, really cold there. Actually, like wearing a wool hat cold. And I was pretty shot. And it was dark already. And Anita was like, let's go to Magic Kingdom. And Magic Kingdom on a Saturday night. Sunday night, yeah. It can be very crowded. It's always crowded there. And it was like half hour before fireworks were going to start. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But look, I'll be game. Let's go. We're only here this is the last night. Let's do it. We went there. And as soon as we walked in, we looked and it was literally, it said 5 minutes to meet Mickey. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. It was less than 30 seconds. There was no one else. There was 2 people in front of us, no one behind us. We literally walked right in, and they said, how many? They said, okay, come on. We were right in the room with Mickey. We watched him take photographs with a little kid and his parents and another couple. And then it was us. And it was just us. There was nobody else coming in. No, it was great. Yeah. So that was a real, it was a great experience. And that really, like, I was in such a good mood after that to go out into Magic Kingdom. Didn't matter how crowded it was, and we were smart and we avoided all the really highly congested areas. But we'll get into more details about that. But yeah, that was my favorite part. I didn't say anything about how you.
Okay. No,
yeah, anyway. I'm not going to. Wednesday.
Like, I'm not going to say anything, but let me describe the whole entire experience.
No, I just described the technical aspect of it. Okay. You asked me what my favorite part was. What do you want me to say?
You're allowed to say whatever you want.
Apparently not.
I'm trying to find. Where is oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm in my festival book, which I'm so happy that I was able to get to this festival book, but I do need to get some more. Oh, here it is. Okay. My favorite moment of everything was our friend Terry picked us up at the airport, and she was like, but that morning she was like, I'm assuming you're just going to want to go straight to Epcot. Like, we're not stopping at the house. We're not regrouping. We're just going right to Epcot. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, I packed my change of shirt, my change of socks. Cause like, I don't know, I just get like weird on a plane and I just wanted to feel fresh for the park. So I'm like in the car, just like getting ready, like on our way over. And she even like packed us snacks. Like, she brought us a bag of snacks and water bottles, like chilled water bottles, water with lemon for Joe, because she knows that he likes water with lemon in the mornings.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure if, because our flight was at 7 a.m., if he had his water with lemon. I was like,
that was amazing.
That is the actual sweetest thing on the planet. But we get there, we get in, and we just like, I was starving. I mean, I had like one little snack because I was like, we gotta save it for the festival. So the first booth that we hit is the deconstructed dish. And I don't know if it was because I was starving or if it really is the best booth of the festival.
It was good.
But that was like, just like getting to Epcot at, like, we landed at 10. I think we were walking into Epcot at 11, like from plane to park in an hour. And excuse me, just getting right to that first booth, and we just ordered one of everything. I was like, I can't choose, I'm starving, we're getting one of everything. We got the deconstructed BLT, crispy pork belly, soft poached egg, brioche, watercress, espuma, and tomato jam. Phenomenal. If you have been to the Wave or Steakhouse 71, it was very much like the bacon and eggs, which was so good. Then they had the deconstructed French onion soup, which was interesting. It was like soup. The soup part of it was like the broth was in a ravioli, so you had to like pop it open and then spill out the broth. So it wasn't very soupy. But that's okay. It was very interesting. And they had like a crunchy, like a baked, like Parmesan crisp. Oh,
it was good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And the deconstructed key lime pie,
really
flexible key lime curd that like goes in this little wavy, they have the picture in it, little wavy do. Key lime mousse, graham cracker cake, and meringues. Oh, and then Terry, we got her the deconstructed apple pie a la mode, which was like it came in a cute little cup. Which now I'm sad that I didn't go back and get another one because now I don't have that little cup. That's okay. Apple cinnamon gelato, cinnamon apple cider, apple pie filling, and streusel. And it's not alcoholic. So it was like a really fun, you got the fun cup and you got like this really cool drink. She said it was like drinking an apple pie a la mode. And that was my highlight. More to come about the trip this week. We are going to do our regular newscast on Thursday as well. This was a bonus because we missed last week and we wanted to give you a little trip review, little update, and read our beautiful script that Catherine wrote us for last week. But yeah, let us know if you're tuning in. Give us some thumbs, give us some comments because we love to hear from you.
Or questions. Any questions? We love questions. So.
If you saw something on Instagram that we did that we haven't really talked about, feel free to shoot me a message because I'm on Instagram way too much and I will answer you. All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you so much. And we will see you real soon.